Good evening and welcome into Impact Field in Rosemont, where tonight we're getting set for Game 3 of the East Division Championship Series, a critical matchup as the Kane County Cougars take on the Chicago Dogs, with this series tied at 1 game apiece. Hello everybody, alongside Colin Rudisil, I'm Connor Klingen. So happy that you're with us here tonight. And Colin, just a pivotal game, as we said, a best 2 out of 3 here in Rosemont, and this Game 3 really could turn the tide of this series.
Yeah, it always feels like in a 5-game series, Game 3, it tends to be almost that decider one way or another, that huge momentum, only needing 1 game left to win the entire series and punch your ticket to the Miles Wolf Cup final. And now split at 1. This is definitely an interesting scenario. Cougars on the road here at Rosemont. They're very familiar here, played here a little bit in the regular season. Should be a fun game to see what happens in game number 3.
The Cougars had a 5-2 record here at Impact Field during the regular season, so hopefully they can keep up some of that success. Actually swept the Dogs their last series here in the regular season. But a big story tonight, Colin, Chris Mazza taking them out. Had a tough outing in round 1 against Milwaukee. There seemed to be an issue with his hand there. He just really didn't seem to be himself, and the Cougars are turning to a veteran in Mazza, a former big leaguer, to step up in a big way tonight.
Yeah, luckily he's had about a week of rest now to, kind of deal with whatever that was, and he's pitched really well against the Dogs. 2 starts, 2 quality starts, a win in the last time he was out here, and even more so than that, Chris Mazza has pitched great on the road, a 3-2 record with a 2.31 ERA, so he has really been comfortable pitching away from Northwestern Medicine Field.
And they'll square off with Brady Miller for the Dogs, who they have not faced in 2025. He's coming off a tremendous start against Lake Country, went 7 innings of scoreless ball, so the Cougars will look to get to him tonight. But we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and then the first pitch between the Cougars and the Dogs in Game 3 of this East Division Championship Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
He got him.
Deep at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field in Rosemont, getting set for Game 3 of the East Division Championship Series. We'll get you the Cougars lineup tonight. Trendon Craig leading it off in center field. Josh Allen will bat second at second. Marcus Chu hitting third at first base. Todd Lott, the DH, in the cleanup spot. Alex McGarry, the right fielder, will hit fifth. Claudio Final, the third baseman, batting sixth. Blake Rutherford in left field hitting 7th. Nick D'Alessandro, the catcher, batting 8th. And Zane Spin, the shortstop, rounding out the order. And Collins, some late changes for the Cougars. Armand Upshaw out of the lineup, just a little bit banged up. Hopefully he'll be back in this series, but that gives an opportunity to Blake Rutherford and Alex McGarry, both in the lineup tonight with a short porch out in right field.
Yeah, something we haven't seen yet between these two guys, both being in at the same time, two power-hitting lefties in at the same time. And you pointed it out, that could be an advantage at the end of the day with that short porch.
And they will square off with Brady Miller. You see his numbers in the regular season right there, 2-2 record of 4 ERA. He started the year in Mexico and then came back to the Dogs. He's in his second year with Chicago out of Western Michigan. Mentioned it in the pregame, the Cougars did not face him in the regular season. The last time they faced Brady Miller was in a relief appearance against the Cougars in last year's East Division Championship Series. And they did get him for 2 runs in a third of an inning. And there's a look on your screen at that Cougars lineup there, a late change with Armand Upshaw out of the lineup, but it is an opportunity for Alex McGarry and Blake Rutherford tonight. So Trent and Craig stepping in, and we're about ready for baseball from Impact Field. TC has had a really nice series thus far, 4 for 9 here in round 2 of the postseason. First pitch from Miller, and Craig fouls it back. We're underway. 6:37 on a little bit of a warmer September night than it has been the past couple of weeks, Colin. Feels a little bit more like summer once again.
Yeah, take advantage of it while we still have it, because it'll cool back down before you know it.
That one down low. Defensively, the Dogs have TJ Hopkins in left, Reggie Pruitt Jr. in center, Johnny Turbo in right, Dusty Stroop at third, Henry Kuziak at short, Jalen Williams at second, Jacob Teeter at first, and Chance Cisco catching. Craig with a bouncer foul. Had a quick look at Matt Passarelli there, the first-year manager for the Dogs, and throughout the season we've talked about how that's added an interesting wrinkle to this rivalry. The former Cougar hitting coach taking over as the skipper for the rival Dogs, but it's been fun. 1-2, Craig tried to check his swing. He went around, strike 3, and Miller picks up a strikeout as Craig goes down.
It's all part of that George Samus coaching tree, which it's kind of spanned a little bit here now, but you can tell these between Matt Passarelli and George Samus, still a lot of mutual respect between those two. You see them shake hands and hug before every single game, so that part of the rivalry at least is nice.
Here's Josh Allen. Checked up his swing on the first pitch, takes ball 1. Josh is 3 for 7 in this series, had a 3-run homer in game 2. Cougars fell in game 2, 5-3 at Northwestern Medicine Field. All 5 runs for the Dogs came in the top of the first as Allen with a broken bat bouncer, fielded there by Kuziak to first, and a couple of quick outs for Brady Miller. Second straight year these two franchises have met up in the East Division Championship Series. Last year the Cougars with a sweep. This year it'll certainly be a longer series. It already is, as this one's fouled back. Of course, before the season, the American Association announced that they were going to a best-of-5 in the Division Championship Series. Oh, that was a loud plane going over
Yeah,
there.
my goodness.
That's what you got to get used to at Impact Field. We've had it before, as there's a swing and a miss from Chu.
Yeah, it probably won't be the last one.
Wonder where that one was coming in from, or was that taken off?
I
would know
never
better,
even saw
maybe,
it.
Colin.
Oh, there it is. It looks like it's leaving.
0-2 to Chu. And Marcus goes the opposite way, but foul. Chu is 2 for 9 in this series. Some Cougars fans made the trip from further west to here at Impact Field in Rosemont. Another 0-2, and Chu with a soft line drive played on a hop by Williams to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for Brady Miller in the top of the first. So the Cougars set down in order. We'll see Chris Mazza step up to the mound for his first time after this.
under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field in Rosemont. There's a look at the lineup for the Chicago Dogs. Henry Kuziak will lead it off at short. Jalen Williams batting second at second. Jacob Teeter, the first baseman, hitting third. TJ Hopkins, the left fielder, in the cleanup spot. Chance Sisco batting fifth at catcher. Dusty Stroop, the third baseman, hitting sixth as Chris Mazza is ready to toss his first pitch of the night. And it is out of the zone for ball one. Trip Clark batting seventh in the DH spot. Johnny Turbo, the right fielder, hitting eighth. And Reggie Pruitt Jr., the center fielder, rounds out the order for the Chicago Dogs. That's in for a strike.
You know, that traffic they showed on that establishing shot never stops. It's just
That is 294 for you. There's the regular season numbers for Chris Mazza. 3.82 ERA that is outside. 59 strikeouts, 23 walks. But had his struggles in round one against Milwaukee, which was surprising after the way he closed out the regular season. There's a nice pitch for strike two. He had two straight quality starts, including ending his regular season with 6 innings of 2-run ball against these Dogs.
Yeah, he really turned it up at the end of the year for the Cougars. And he's a huge part of this rotation when he has his stuff working. So hopefully that's what we get tonight from Chris.
2-2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. Josh Allen makes the catch. That was a mile-high pop-up for out number one. So here's Jalen Williams. Added late in the season from the Kansas City Monarchs in that Brantley Bell trade. Cougars have him shifted over towards the right in the outfield. Defensively, Alex McGarry's in left, Trendon Craig in center, Armand Upshaw. Oh, I'm sorry, that was earlier. It's Blake Rutherford in left field as that one fouled away. Got to make sure to do the lineup change on the defense as well.
Yep, it's important for this reason.
So it's Rutherford that is in left field, Trendon Craig in center, Alex McGarry in right, Claudio Final at third, Zane Spin at short, Josh Allen at second, Marcus Chu at first, as Williams fouls it back, and Nick D'Alessandro catching once again.
Yeah, that late scratch of Armand Upshaw, which is significant. I mean, he's been the leader in hits this postseason for the Cougars so far, so they're going to have to find those bats somewhere else.
Here's a bouncer first base side. It goes foul. Now, hopefully Armand's all right, just a little banged up and taken out of the lineup tonight, so we hope the best for him. Hopefully he can be back tomorrow night. But always in playoff baseball, you see at every level, it's sometimes players that aren't starting every day that come up in a huge spot.
Definitely.
Cougars have a good example in their own dugout. Brett Phillips. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Chris Mazza with his first strikeout of the night. And Colin, it's a little bit early, but safe to say Chris looks a lot better than he did last week against Milwaukee.
Yeah, night and day so far. I mean, at this point, it was already big trouble for Chris Mazza and the Cougars, but settling into this one, outside of that first pitch, he's looked really good, finding his spots.
Here is Jacob Teeter, who had a solo home run in the last game. Bounces this one off the glove of Chewett. Pinballs over the glove of Allen into right field and a base hit. Jacob Teeter has his third hit of this series. And that is significant, Colin, because he was 0 for 9 before that home run. Not good for the Cougars to see Teeter heating up at this time after he really slumped at the end of the season, the beginning of the postseason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, luckily in this scenario with 2 outs, it's just a single, so it didn't hurt anything in this moment. But that was an interesting play, almost a trick shot.
Here's TJ Hopkins, first pitch inside to him. Hopkins is 4 for 8 in this series. One of the former major leaguers, 2 former big leaguers going head to head here. So that's in for a strike from Mazza. Hopkins spent time with the Cincinnati Reds in 2023. Chris Mazza, of course, pitched with the New York Mets, Boston Red Sox, Tampa Bay Rays. It's that fastball a little bit outside from Chris. Infield is shifted over to the left against Hopkins, leaving that right side wide open with Chu holding Teeter on at first. Fouled back, 2-2. Some fans still filtering in at Impact Field. Just a gorgeous night for baseball. Two-two pitch. On the ground to that shift. Zane Spin has it over to first in time. So Chris Mazza works around that 2-out single. A scoreless bottom of the first will go to the second. No score between the Cougars and the Dogs.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Top of the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Cougars, beginning with Todd Lott. Lott is 4 for 9 in this series, including a grand slam in game 1. That made it a 7-1 game in the second inning on Monday night. And Lott takes a fastball strike.
Yeah, it was certainly grand. I mean, at the end of the day, that was the game-winning runs that they needed. Dogs started to mount a tiny comeback, but grand slam put the Cougars over the top.
Lott watches that one down low. Todd had a career night the last time he was at Impact Field. 3 home runs. But he bounces this one to short. Kuziak handles. High throw to first, but Teeter taps the bag for out number 1. So that's 4 straight retired for Miller. What a start he had against Lake Country in the deciding game of that series. 7 innings, no runs, only 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. So far it's been 4 up, 4 down. The Cougars looking to have some success against the right-hander out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. First pitch to Alex McGarry. High pop-up, left side. Dusty Stroop looking, and it goes into the seats.
And a guy that can have that kind of performance, too, in a game that is so critical and means so much. I mean, that's scary. If he can lock down and really find the confidence to go that far and have that good of a performance. And this is kind of a similar atmosphere here in Game 3. So you said it. I think the early trouble for the Cougars would be nice.
0-1 to McGarry, down low.
Getting to Miller early.
It's a little bit of an advantage for Miller. He didn't pitch as many innings as a lot of the starters you see in the postseason. 36 innings in the regular season. And part of that due to pitching in Mexico earlier, as there's a swing and a miss from McGarry, 1-2. So he's fresh.
Right.
Going into this postseason, we already saw the Cougars have had a couple of starters that are well over 100 innings. Jack Fox the other night. Credit to Jack. We talked about it in game 2. Tough first inning, but a really good bounce back the rest of the way. As that's a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Miller. And he seems to be carrying the momentum from the last round right into this start.
Just kept it on that outside edge and had McGarry reaching out for it. Might have still caught the edge anyway, even if he didn't swing. It was a good location.
Here's Claudio Final. He has 3 hits in this series. And takes a first pitch strike.
I think Claudio's been a big contributor early in the postseason for the Cougars. Obviously the home run in Milwaukee to help lift the Cougars in a Game 1 victory. And he's carried that over here in Chicago as well.
Yeah, good to see for Claudio. Started to turn it on in the month of July, as did pretty much everybody in this Cougar lineup. As 1-1's inside. Last year in the East Division Championship Series, Final hit a home run here at Impact Field in Game 1. Helped the Cougars to a 5-2 win. So that one's foul, 2-2. Brady Miller going for another 1-2-3 inning. 2-2 pitch. And Final with a bouncer. This could be trouble. Stroop charges to first. It gets away. Final will stay put at first, but an errant throw keeps the inning going.
I think Stroop thought he had to rush this one a little bit more than he did. I mean, Final took off sprinting out of the box, but a really quick transfer and throw over by Dusty Stroop ended up being errant, and You know, we talk about mistakes. This is a big opportunity for the Cougars to take advantage of one.
And it gives Blake Rutherford an opportunity. 0 for 4 in this series. But we mentioned having these left-handed bats with the potential for power could be huge here. And there's a big swing and a miss from Rutherford on the first pitch. But we saw him and Alex McGarry were really pounding those bleachers and even the parking garage in right field during batting practice tonight. 0-1, fouled away, quickly 0-2.
Yeah, if either one of those guys can flip the hips and square one on the barrel, they can make that ball go a long way out of right field. And we know they're both capable of it with their power.
It is a short porch out in right, twisting around almost like Pesky's pole, 294 down the line in right field. 0-2 pitch, down low. Rutherford had a really nice end of the regular season with the Cougars, hitting .333 in 8 games, which included a home run. But there's a swing and a miss, strike 3, third strikeout for Miller. He works around that error. We'll go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless in Game 3 of the East Division Championship Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Elvis is in the building tonight.
Amazing. He's right there.
Well, when you got the postseason stage, you have to have the king.
He did great earlier.
He was performing pregame. I think there'll be a postseason performance as well from Elvis Presley. Okay, it's not the real Elvis. To all the conspiracy theorists out there.
He's been in Rosemont this whole time, huh?
So that one misses low and end to Chance Cisco. Be kind of funny if it was almost like, you know, how obviously Santa Claus, there is the real Santa Claus at the North Pole, but he sends out the ones that go to the malls, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So what if Elvis, the real Elvis, is still alive and just sends out Elvises to impersonate him?
That would make
You
a
never
great,
know.
like, Nicolas Cage movie.
I think Nicolas Cage was in some Elvis movie, wasn't he?
Well, he's about to be in ours, if he wasn't already.
I'm pretty sure he was. Isn't it something like Leaving Las Vegas?
That sounds like a movie.
Honeymoon in Vegas. No, wait. I don't know. There's a swing and a miss. 2-2 to Cisco, who is 2 for 7 in this series. Two for Mazza. That's low and in, 3-2. So a full count to Cisco. Another former major leaguer in this Dogs lineup. Three-two pitch. Inside. It went off the bat for strike 3. D'Alessandro hung on to it. Cisco can't believe it, but Tom Swoboda making the call. That's a foul tip, but now the umpires are getting together. And Cisco is heading towards first base.
I'm wondering, I mean, we didn't see Matt Passarelli even flinch necessarily to come and talk about this.
I mean, it's tough to tell there.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's definite conversation. But you said it, Cisco's already handed over the batting gloves. I mean, he's standing on first.
Oh, and they are going to say he's at first base. Ball 4, so that is, instead of a strikeout, it's a walk. And the first walk of the night. And now George Samus, I think he's got a point here. If you make that call at home, how can you overturn the home plate umpire making that call?
Right.
That's
he's got the best judgment and the best angle. I mean, he's right there. The other 3 can see, but, I mean, Tom Swoboda is going to have the best opportunity to make the call, and I think that's what George Samus is trying to say.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me to be able to overturn that one. If the home plate umpire is the one who said it's a foul tip, how could the other umpires have a better idea whether that was fouled off or not? But it seems like George Samus has gotten a good enough explanation. It'll be Chance Cisco at first base. Well, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite the Cougars. As Dusty Stroop steps in, he's 2 for 7 in this series, including a double. Second-year third baseman for the Dogs, and a first-pitch strike from Mazza. You can just tell, Colin, although he did just walk Chance Cisco, the comfortability that Chris Mazza has tonight. He just looks, the presence is so much more there than it was last week.
It definitely is.
As Stroop goes up the middle, a base hit. So the first 2 base runners aboard in the bottom of the second for the Dogs.
Well, and that first at-bat is already starting to rear its head here because, I mean, you mentioned it. It was a strikeout turned into a walk. That is a huge swing, and now that run is standing at second base with nobody out.
Here's Trip Clark coming off a massive game. 3 hits, 4 RBIs, including a 3-run homer. First pitch. Inside. See if the Cougars can maybe get a ball on the ground here. You do have Marcus Chu playing in on the grass. Claudio Final on the edge of the grass at third, potentially expecting a bunt from Clark. As he fouls that one just above the Cougar dugout.
Tripp was a dangerous man a couple nights ago as well. I mean, had the big home run in the first inning, but even after Jack Fox settled into the game, he still got a couple more hits in that game. So he's swinging a hot bat.
He really had it working. 1-1. Bounced foul, 1-2. And we've mentioned before, it's been a long journey through multiple teams in the league this year for Tripp. Enjoyed having him in Kane County, but then he was traded to Winnipeg, and then from Winnipeg here to the Chicago Dogs. After starting the year with Lake Country. 1-2 pitch. On the ground is short. Spin, flips to second for 1. Allen to first to 6-4-3. Double play. And that is huge for Chris Mazza. That is when Mazza is at his best, inducing those ground balls.
It's just what you needed, too. It's as easy as they come for a 6-4-3. Beautifully executed by Zane Spinn and Josh Allen. And, yeah, the Dogs get that runner over to third, but now with 2 outs, Chris Mazza, the defense, just needs to focus on Johnny Turbo.
Turbo 2 for 8 in this series. Takes first pitch strike. And crack open a cold one that's as smooth as a perfect pitch. Carbless is ready to be your MVP this baseball season. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories, and all the flavor. 0-1, broken bat for Turbo, and it's 0-2. Turbo will get a new bat. Oh, there's a White Sox hat. Another win for the White Sox today. They're playing some good baseball.
Yeah, we've been geeking out about it up here as two White Sox fans, but weird turn.
They're one of the more interesting 90-loss teams you'll ever see with some of the rookie talent they've got. 0-2 pitch. Bounced up the middle. Tough play for Spin, and it gets under his glove, and a run comes in to score.
Yeah, this was a tough play, the high chopper, and I think Zane Spin's eyes were making the play before his hands and glove were. Just let that one slip underneath him. It trickles into center, and a 1-0 lead for the Dogs.
That does go as an E6 to bring in the first run of the ball game. That is tough for Zane. You have to charge on that ball because you know Turbo's going to be busting it down the line, but just didn't secure it first. And it just slipped under his glove.
It's uncharacteristic from him, too, because he has really been playing a good shortstop in this postseason. I mean, really made the play of the series against Milwaukee.
Pruitt Jr. with a fly ball into left field. Rutherford is there and makes the catch to end the inning, but the Dogs strike first. An unearned run they score on the air will go to the top of the third. Cougars trail 1-0.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Top of the third inning. Cougars trail the Dogs 1-0. There's that giant Chicago Dogs hat. I've seen those at a lot of sporting events. What do you think of those hats?
I keep going back and forth. I mean, they're a fun novelty, but boy, they don't serve much of a purpose, do they? I can't imagine they're comfy.
Nick D'Alessandro with a bouncer to third, backhanded there by Stroop, and he makes the play over to first. So after the error in the last inning, Dusty Stroop makes a nice play to start the top of the third. So here's Zane Spinn. 3 for 6 in this series, including an RBI. And you know Zane wants to step up here after committing that error, and he shoots it right back through the middle. The Cougars have their first base hit of the night. That's exactly what you expect from Zane Spinn. We've seen that this season. Anytime he does make a mistake, he seems to come up to the plate and then just come through with a hit.
Yeah, that's his mentality. And, you know, he probably was kicking himself in, but he knows, like, it's over. You know, it happened, and it's my turn to try to make up for that. And he's had himself a great postseason. That's his 5th hit now.
You have to put it behind you. You have to have a quick memory, especially as a shortstop. As here's Trendon Craig, and he went around on the first pitch. A little bit of a half swing there. It's top of the order here. Craig struck out his first time. Cougars have only had 2 base runners. The single just now from Zane Spinn, and then Claudio Final reaching out an error in the second inning. That one down low from Miller. Decent lead off of first for Spinn. 1-1 pitch on the ground is short. Kuziak to second for 1 to first, and Craig beat it out. Good speed by TC to keep this inning alive.
Well, we were talking before we went on the air today about the speed that this team has, and it was on full display there. Obviously no chance for Zane Spinn to make it to second, but TC flying down the line and at least breaks up that double play, and still have good speed over at first base now if Josh Allen can find a gap.
Gives Josh an opportunity. He grounded out to short his first time up. Takes a first pitch strike. This is the first time in this series that we haven't seen a big inning in the first 2 frames. In game 1, the Cougars scored 3 in the first, 4 in the second, as Craig is back on a pickoff attempt. Game 2, the Dogs scored 5 in the top of the first inning. So different tenor to this game so far, and it's interesting that it's happening here at Impact Field, which you expect to be the more hitter-friendly ballpark. And that hits Josh. Got high and tight, and thankfully it looks like Allen's all right. He'll take first base.
Yeah, good to see him. It's like walking that off and being okay. He's trotting over to first, because really that's a quality at bat now for Josh Allen, because it moves Trendon Craig over to second base, and a big spot here for Marcus Chu. He had a tough night a couple nights ago. See if he can make up for it early here today.
Marcus is 0 for 1, grounded out to second his first time up. Good opportunity here. And Chu out in front. Off-speed pitch from Miller. The last time the Cougars played here, mentioned the big game Todd Lott had, but Marcus Chu was just about as good. 2 home runs, also a double, but tried to check up there and went around for strike 2.
It was funny listening to those two kind of joke about it. Todd Lott obviously getting all his praises and winning the hitter of the week, and then Marcus is just like, well, what about me? You know, I mean, I had a great game too. It's all love and jokes, of course, but funny to watch those two laugh about it.
0-2, little half swing. This could be trouble. Teeter fields to Miller, who covers the bag. Nice job by the Dogs pitcher fielding his position. So the Cougars get 2 aboard, but they don't score. We'll go to the bottom of the third. 1-0, the Dogs ahead.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
miss, he got him.
Turn it up, let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up, let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field in Rosemont. We just saw between innings a pickle race at Impact Field, but here in this ball game, 1-0. The Dogs ahead of the Cougars. Game 3 of this series, tied 1 game apiece. It's the top of the order due up for the Dogs with Henry Kuziak. He popped out his first time, and Mazza just misses with the first pitch. Kuziak flares it to right field. Could be trouble. McGarry on the run. It goes foul. What a rookie year in the American Association Henry Kuziak had. Rookie position player of the year. Well deserved. Hit over 300. Played a good shortstop. That one's low and away. 12 home runs. 858 OPS. Some impressive numbers.
Yeah, I think the power is really something that kind of takes him to the next level. He was showing that off this year. But other than that, almost serving a little bit of a similar role to TC, Trenton Craig for these Dogs, and just getting himself aboard and keeping the action going for the Dogs.
97 hits for Kuziak in the regular season. That was third on this Dogs team, behind only Chance Sisco and Jacob Teeter.
That's good company for him.
2-2 pitch. In the air, right field. McGarry went back initially, now comes in on it and makes the catch.
Well, so far, Chris Mazza, through 2 1/3, has looked really good in this game. I mean, he's given up a couple of singles, and other than that, just some bad luck. And really, I mean, even his first hit that he gave up off from Teeter, I mean, is a ball that we've seen Marcus Chu field before. It was hard hit.
Jalen Williams bounces it foul.
And we kind of saw a lot of that bad luck from Mazza early on in the season as well, where it felt like he would pitch really good games, but for one reason or another, couldn't get the wins.
Yeah, he had some tough luck in terms of the no decision. Didn't get a lot of run support as that pitch gets away, but nobody on base, so that's good news. Jalen Williams struck out his first time up. And fouls that one. Nice catch by David Holmberg off of the netting in the Cougars dugout. Cougars pitching coach. One-two pitch. Called strike 3. Nice fastball, well located there by Chris, and he picks up his second strikeout of the night.
Both against Jalen Williams, too, so he's done a nice job against the 2-hitter here for the Chicago Dogs, and once again he gets Jacob Teeter with 2 outs.
Teeter with a single back in the first inning. Only 3 total hits thus far in this ball game. 1 for the Cougars, 2 for the Dogs. The lone run in this game unearned. Scoring on the error by Zane Spinn in the second inning. That one's fouled off of D'Alessandro. Hopefully Nick's all right. That's a couple of former teammates. D'Alessandro with the Dogs last year. Well, prior to tonight, the team that has scored first has won each of the first 2 games of this series. Hopefully that trend ends tonight. That one low and in, 2-1. Nice cool breeze coming in. That wind is blowing out towards right field. As that one low and in. You can see Chris being a little bit careful with Teeter, who did have his number in the regular season, was 3 for 5 against Mazza with 2 home runs.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine this pitch is going to be that aggressive either.
Oh, nice one on the outside corner, and Teeter didn't like it. He thought it was ball 4.
Great location. And what I meant was more, he's not going to pump in a fastball down the middle. He's going to try to hit a spot, and if he misses it, so be it.
Yeah.
But ended up being a perfect pitch for Chris Mazza.
I think with the experience Mazza has, he knows, okay, 2-out walk with nobody aboard, that's not going to hurt you as much as one in the seats in right field.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll see what he does on 3-2. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. And again, you can see that was a careful approach from Mazza.
Yeah, you never want to walk anybody, but that's, like you said, it's way better than giving him a cookie and letting him take advantage of it, and all of a sudden you're sitting there either down 2-0 or even having Teeter at second or third. This is a much more manageable situation for Chris Mazza.
Well, Hopkins has hit well in this series, but he's 0 for 1 tonight. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back.
And it also gives him a fresh slate against a new hitter. So now, starting out TJ Hopkins with a strike, Mazza's back in control here.
And in the regular season, TJ Hopkins 1 for 5 against Chris Mazza. These pitchers, they study those numbers. They know who's had success against them, who they've had the better of. As that one misses outside. As much as baseball is a team sport, it so often just comes down to that head-to-head matchup. Pitcher versus the lone hitter. As Hopkins lifts it deep right field, McGarry back, and that ball is gone. An opposite field homer for TJ Hopkins, and it is 3-0 Dogs.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Connor, all the regular season success that TJ Hopkins has had, and even though Mazza overall has pitched well against Hopkins, he's still a dangerous hitter. This one just gets away from Mazza a little bit back over the middle. Hopkins opposite field, drives it out, and a 3-0 lead now for the Dogs.
And that wind blowing out towards right. So now here's Chance Sisco. He walked his first time up. Cougars have the shift on over towards the right side of the infield. Sisco grounds it to that side. It's off the glove of Chu. Tough play there for Marcus. Likely will go as a base hit. So an infield single keeps this inning going. It's all happened with 2 outs. A walk of Jacob Teeter.
Yeah, and it's kind of given shades of what we saw 2 nights ago in the first inning with Jack Fox. He got the first 2 retired, and then after that, that's where all the trouble came from.
And the last 8 runs in this series for the Dogs have all come with 2 outs, as there's a swing and a miss from Stroop. But a lot of time for the Cougars to get back into this game. They haven't had success against Miller yet. But hopefully, the top half of the 4th, when you got the middle of the order getting a second crack against Miller, they can cut into this lead. That one misses, 1-1.
Well, first things first is to just get out of this inning with the 3 runs, and that's it, because that's not what we saw 2 nights ago with Jack Fox. Ended up going up to 5 runs. So just making it manageable and keeping it in a place where you can come back.
Foul tipped into the glove, 1-2. Stroop singled his first time up. Mazza trying to end this bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. The tough thing for Mazza, though, is, you know, that ball that Hopkins hit, that's probably a fly out at Northwestern Medicine Field. It wasn't necessarily a cheapie. It went a couple rows deep, but probably a fly out back in Geneva. But that's the challenge of this ballpark. As a half swing, he went around strike three. That'll end the inning. But a two-run homer from TJ Hopkins, and it's 3-0 Dogs as we head to the top of the fourth inning from Rosemont.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Top of the fourth inning, the Cougars down 3-0. Todd Lott will lead it off. 4, 5, and 6 due up, and the Cougars need to get something going here, down by 3 runs. They were down 5-0 in game 2. Cut it to a 2-run lead for the Dogs, but so far haven't been able to get much going against Brady Miller. He's allowed only 1 hit. Lott takes the first pitch inside.
Yeah, the good news is for the Cougars, though, they got some guys coming up that can absolutely change the scene of this game with one swing of the bat. Todd Lott is certainly one of them.
Lott bounces it off his foot, 1-1. Todd grounded out to short his first time up. Now, when you come back to a ballpark where the last time you were there you hit 3 home runs, I have to imagine Todd's eyes lit up a little bit coming back here to Impact Field.
Absolutely.
And he fouls that one straight back, 1-2. Said it before, but there are a few other ballparks in the American Association where if that was Lott's home ballpark, he probably has 15 to 20 home runs instead of the 10 that he hit in the regular season this year. 1-2, swing and a miss. Lott down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Miller. And the Cougars just can't seem to get anything going against him.
Just dropped this one off the shelf on the outside edge, and Lott went fishing for it. See if Alex McGarry can start to spur something up here with 1 out.
McGarry struck out his first time up. Here's the first pitch. And Alex takes a strike on the outer half. Miller has thrown 41 pitches, 31 strikes. He's been pounding the zone.
Yeah, it's efficient.
That one's down low. 1-1 to McGarry. That one on the ground towards the shift. Jalen Williams there. Over to first, 2 down. And stay up to date on the 2025 American Association playoffs by following the league's social media channels and by downloading the AA Baseball app by logging on to aabaseball.com. Here's Claudio Final. He lifts it towards right field. That one going foul, but you always have to keep an eye here with that right field foul pole that twists in, sort of reminiscent of Pesky's pole at Fenway.
Right, you never know.
That was how Nick D'Alessandro hit his first home run this year. High and inside to Final.
They're just checking in over at Sioux Falls. 7-2 Canaries over Redhawks. Josh Raywalt, 2 home runs.
That team can hit.
Absolutely.
What a lineup. As this one's on the ground to short. Kuziak to first in a 1-2-3 inning for Brady Miller. He keeps rolling along. We go to the bottom of the 4th at Impact Field. Cougars trail the Dogs 3-0.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Bottom of the 4th inning in Rosemont. And a selfie for some of the Dogs fans. And there's a look at Aaron Schell and Joe Williamson, the voices of the Dogs. Good catching up with them before this game. Trip Clark takes the first pitch ball. Oh, they missed that pitch there. What's going on?
Maybe this is the broadcaster reacting.
There's a foul ball back. Well, you know, I don't know if we have much room to talk, Colin, given the, although we didn't do it this year, but the past couple of years, the bottom of the 6th inning, which, although we didn't do it in the playoffs.
Well, and if we were at home, they'd probably have the camera on us right now.
That's
anyway.
true. That's true. There's a swing and a miss from Clark. He's 0 for 1 tonight, grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. That's a high fly ball into center field. TC camps under it and makes the catch.
Be nice to see Mazza just settle in and After giving up a run in the last 2 innings, just maybe have a quick 1-2-3, get the Cougar bats back in, and maybe set up for a big 5th inning.
It's tough for Chris because if you look at this game, he's really only made one mistake.
Right.
The TJ Hopkins home run. As there's a swing and a miss from Turbo. The first run was unearned, so he's only given up 2 earned runs. Right now, the Cougars just have not been able to get to Brady Miller. A much different game than the first 2 of this series. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 to Turbo. He reached on that error in the second that scored a run, so he did not pick up an RBI. That hit somebody. Who did it hit?
I think it hit the knob.
Oh, did it hit the knob of the bat?
I think it hit the knob of the bat.
Yeah. 0-2.
Yeah, there's no complaining from anybody. I think it hit the knob of the bat.
Well, Turbo just stood there for he was frozen. Another 0-2 low and away. Turbo not chasing that one. Here's another look at it. Yeah, that did glance somewhere off the bat. I think Turbo was just frustrated with himself. 1-2. Little half swing, it gets away. D'Alessandro has it though, and over to first. And a strikeout for Chris Mazza. That's his 4th of the night.
And so far so good for Chris Mazza in this inning, but you know, we've seen him get to 2 outs, and then of course that's where the 2 runs came from back in the 3rd. So getting Reggie Pruitt here and not allowing the top part of the lineup to come back up would be big.
Every run for the Dogs tonight and every run in game 2 scored with 2 outs, as that's in for a strike. And that's something that, you know, Brett Phillips, he talked a lot to us about that this year. 2-out hitting is so pivotal throughout the season, any baseball game. But when you get to postseason baseball, it's that much more crucial. I didn't know pivotal was such a difficult word to pronounce.
It can be, apparently, yeah. Added a lot more consonants in that one.
I did.
Or syllables, I guess. See, now I can't even talk.
Reggie Pruitt Jr., it's a foul ball kicked away there by Mazza.
We need this inning to end for a lot of reasons.
And we'll do some of the vocal warm-up exercises between innings here. It's a 1-2 count to Reggie Pruitt Jr., who's 0 for 1 tonight. Chris Mazza looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Sometimes that can give a little lift to your teammates offensively. They see their starting pitcher putting in work, and see if Mazza can get the 1-2-3. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Mazza in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the 5th. Cougars chasing 3 runs.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Top of the fifth inning, 7, 8, and 9. Due up for the Cougars against Brady Miller, who's been rolling along. Only one hit for the Cougars. See if Blake Rutherford can get something going to start the fifth. Fouls away the first pitch. Miller's only had to throw 47 pitches through 4 innings thus far. Pitch count at a manageable number. As Rutherford smokes it into right center field. Pruitt Jr. going back on that ball, and it is off the wall. Blake heading for second, and he is in there with a double to lead off the fifth.
Well, obvious statement, but that is the best hit we have seen from the Cougars tonight, and Rutherford smoked this ball. It just went to probably the deepest part of the field here at Impact Field, bounced it off the wall, and stand-up double, especially from the leadoff spot. You'll take that.
Finally, the Cougars, that is their first extra base hit tonight, just their third hit of the night. Actually, scratch that, second hit of the night. D'Alessandro bounces it up the middle. This will move Rutherford to third as Williams throws to first. One away, but the Cougars do move up Rutherford. He's 90 feet away.
Yeah, I think later in the game you might be a little disappointed in that at-bat, but if it ends with Rutherford crossing home by the end of this inning, if you cut into this lead and get it to 3-1, that's still very manageable.
Don't have to get it all back at once. First pitch to Zane's spin and a swing and a miss. Zane singled back in the third inning. That was the first hit of the night for the Cougars. So still just the 2 hits against Miller. Dogs are shifted over to the right side against Zane. Watches that one down low. Rutherford stays put at third as it was blocked well by Cisco.
Well, Zane's already picked up a couple RBIs in these postseason, and we've been talking about he's been swinging one of the better bats out of that 9-hole for the Cougars, and this is another big spot for the young rookie.
Be great if he could come through with an RBI here. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there by Miller. He's ahead in the count, 1-2.
And Miller's just done a good job of hitting the strike zone. I mean, being really consistent, mixing up his pitches, and finding strikes, not falling behind in counts.
1-2 was inside. Good job by Zane. Mentioned throughout the postseason, you've seen that 2-strike approach improve for Zane's spin. He's able to take pitches. He's not chasing. He fouls pitches off when he has to. So here's the 2-2. Bounce to second. This will bring in a run. 3-1 as Zane's spin picks up an RBI and a ground out, and the Cougars are on the board.
Yeah, take them where you can get them. Back-to-back, I would say, quality at-bats between Nick D'Alessandro and Zane Spin. And, obviously you'd rather have hits, but at the end of the day, if it drives in the run and cut into the lead, you will take it.
Yeah, you've still got 4 innings to work with following the fifth, but we'll see if Trendon Craig can start a 2-out rally here. First pitch to him. And Craig with a high bouncer to third. Stroop fields over to first in time. But the Cougars get on the board. Blake Rutherford with a leadoff double. He comes in to score on back-to-back groundouts. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Cougars trailing 3-1.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
let's go.
Bottom of the 5th inning in Rosemont. Top of the order due up for the Dogs against Chris Mazza, who tossed a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. And now we got a little bit of run support, at least, with the 1 run for the Cougars in the top of the 5th inning. Henry Kuziak to lead it off. He's 0 for 2. And he drives it right field deep. McGarry chasing, looking, and that's gone. The Dogs get a run right back. A solo homer. That is only a home run here.
Yeah, I mean, this ball wasn't necessarily particular driven. It was hard hit, but high, but perfect location. If you have to do it for Henry Kuziak, right down the right field line in that short corner, and puts it up on the porch.
Second home run of the night for the Dogs, taking advantage of their home ballpark. Here's Jalen Williams, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch strike. That one inside. Count is at 1-1. Swing and a miss there. 1-2. I don't think that one's even a home run in Lake Country.
It was perfect placement.
Now they know their home ballpark well. As there's a half swing, could be trouble. Chu fields, flips to Mazza, gets to the bag in time, and there's one down.
Good job by Chris Mazza to lock down at least and get Jalen Williams, and especially getting that first out with Teeter and Hopkins coming up. Maybe get a little bit of momentum back if he can get through these two guys.
Teeter 1 for 1 tonight, singled in the first, walked in the third. Big shift on against him with Josh Allen well out into right field, and the first pitch bounced in. That one high and away. There's Matt Passarelli. Quick shot of him, the first-year manager of the Dogs, as that's in for a strike. Former Cougar hitting coach, was part of the staff for last year's Miles Wolf Cup championship. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Chris. Had a funny moment with Matt Passarelli on the way home from the championship, coming back from Winnipeg on the bus ride back to Kane County. We'll wait for this 2-2 pitch. That's outside. It's full count. We had a championship banner, which obviously the Cougars still have, and at a certain point in the ride, George Samus mentioned we better fold up that banner. So here's the 3-2. Teeter drills it right field. McGarry on the run, and that's up against the wall. It bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. And Jacob Teeter with his second hit of the night.
Well, he kind of touched on it earlier. He is a bat that is starting to wake up. He struggled in that first round, but he has found it here against the Cougars. And it seems like every time he makes contact, he's been hitting the ball hard.
And now David Holmberg coming out. Be a mound visit here with Chris Mazza. But going back to that story, we were coming back and we were probably somewhere in Wisconsin. It was late at night. We were probably already over 10 hours into this bus ride, and I volunteered to help Matt Passarelli fold up the flag. Well, he was apparently a little bit more experienced with pennant folding because we had to start over, and he was like, "Connor, what are you doing here? You're not giving much help on the pennant folding here." But eventually we got it figured out, and now I think it looks nice. No wrinkles or anything on that championship banner. But
he should have pointed out to you that this was going to be more than just a, like folding a blanket kind of
yeah,
process.
A little bit more complicated than that.
Or maybe just giving you a quick crash course.
TJ Hopkins takes down low. He's 1 for 2 at a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Dogs ahead 4-1 in this crucial Game 3 of the East Division Championship Series. Chris Mazza trying to keep it just a 3-run ball game with Teeter at second base. That one bounced in, but nice snag there by Nick D'Alessandro. Two-0 pitch. And that got a piece of Hopkins. Looks like he's okay. Teeter will head back to second. He started to move towards third. But a dead ball on the hit by pitch. Thankfully, Hopkins is all right, but it's now first and second with 1 out for Chance Sisco, who has reached base both times he's come to the plate tonight.
Yeah, he's been a dangerous bat in this postseason. Another dangerous situation here for the Cougars.
That one low and in.
I actually heard Claudio Final touch on this, that the Cougars' success against the hitters of the Dogs really comes in this middle part of the order.
Yeah, that's the case for most teams, but I think especially with this Dogs lineup, if you can shut down that 3-4-5 of Teeter, Hopkins, and Sisco, you're going to win 9 times out of 10. But they have had it going tonight. That one fouled away, 2-1. A lot of times in playoff baseball, you just don't want the other team's best players to beat you. You have to try to pitch carefully against them, as that one's hitting to center field and deep. Craig going back, and he reaches up and makes the catch. What a play by Trendon Craig.
Wow.
Circle that play right there. If the Cougars come back in this game, that would have scored 2 runs if it's over his head. Instead, it's a second out. Massive play in center by TC.
I'll tell you what, I think that ball was hit harder than both the home runs that we've seen in this game. But what a play by Trendon Craig. I mean, he's one of the best defensive center fielders in this league, and he showed it right there.
Here's Stroop. First pitch a little bit high from Mazza, whose pitch count is now at 89. This may be the last inning for Chris. Looks to be some action down in the Cougars bullpen. And that one outside, 2-0. Fouled off the mask there of D'Alessandro. Looks like he's okay. Tom Swoboda quickly tossing a new baseball out to Chris Mazza.
We're so spoiled at Kane County. You said it looks like there's some action in the Cougars bullpen. I was waiting for the camera angle to show us who it was, and it never came.
Well, it's a little bit different when the production booth out on the road, as there's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, of course they don't know, but it's just...
It is different.
Shout out to our crew.
I know David Giatris, our producer-director back at home, he's at the game tonight as a fan. Glad he gets to enjoy that opportunity with how hard he works on the home games. It's a 2-2 count to Stroop. Here's the pitch. On the ground is short. Spin has it on a tough hop. Throws to second to end the inning. Nicely done by Mazza to keep it to a one-run frame, but Henry Kuziak homers. It's 4-1. The Cougars trail as we go to the sixth.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Back at Impact Field in Rosemont, Cougars trail the Dogs 4-1. But a good part of the order due up here. 2, 3, and 4 against Brady Miller. So far, he's only allowed 1 run on 2 hits. That run came in the top of the 5th inning as Blake Rutherford scored after his leadoff double. And a swing and a miss there from Josh Allen. Quickly 0-1. And he's only thrown 56 pitches thus far, so he can go deep into this ball game the way things are looking now. See if the Cougars can make him work here in this 6th inning. Get back into this ball game. Swing and a miss. That fastball has really been working tonight. 88, but it's got a lot of movement on it.
Yeah, and location. I mean, just finding his corners and hitting them on a pretty regular basis.
1-2, low and away. We haven't really even seen Miller. That was a waste pitch there, and Josh Allen's not going to chase one like that, but haven't even seen many of those tonight. 2-2. And Allen shoots it to the left side, but Stroop snags it over to first. And a nice pick by Teeter. That's one of those plays, Colin.
Yeah, you got to tip the cap.
You tip your cap and you say, no, there's a lot of innings left for the Cougars, but that's the type of play where it's like this might just be the Dogs' night. I mean,
that was a really nice play by Stroop. I mean, had to throw the gloves, had to throw the glove down and spin around and make that throw. That was impressive stuff.
Here's Marcus Chu 0 for 2 tonight, and he takes a first pitch strike. We talked about that middle part of the order for the Dogs and how important it is. You look at 2 through 5 in the Cougars order as Chu goes back up the middle, a base hit. And that is the first hit for that part of the order. 2 through 6 tonight. And just the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Cougars. We'll see if they can get something going here with 1 out.
It's good to see from Marcus, though, because He had been 0 for his last 9 up until that one, so at least getting that bat back, hopefully that's the little surge he might need.
First pitch to Lott, and popped up foul. Got a feeling Todd might be thinking about sending this one towards 294.
Well, that would change the ball game.
That would, no question about it. 0-1 pitch, and Lott with a roller off his foot. Foul ball. Tom Swoboda didn't see it, but Jordan Sandberg did on the bases.
Yeah, I think all 4 umpires did eventually end up throwing their hands up, so everybody's in agreement here.
Otherwise, that would have been a double play to end the inning, but it is 0-2. So going to be a little bit tougher to have the home run type swing with 2 strikes. We'll see if Todd can choke up and find a base hit here. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Second time Lott has been set down on strikes tonight. That is the 5th strikeout for Miller.
Yeah, and again, location. I mean, this is just a rising fastball. And I think you were kind of pointing it out that Lott was looking for a big swing, and generally those rising fastballs generate a big swing, but just a little bit too much for Lott to handle there.
First pitch to McGarry, misses outside. Alex is 0 for 2 tonight. Only 3 hits from the Cougars, coming from Zane Spinn, Blake Rutherford, and Marcus Chu, who gets back to first on a pickoff attempt. One-0 pitch. And McGarry fouls it. You can tell he's frustrated there. Felt like he got a really good pitch to hit. Just fouled it back.
Yeah, just got to keep in on this at bat. You might get another one. Just keep staying patient. And this is an opportunity for the Cougars. I mean, you've been talking about it all game, how the Dogs have been doing great with 2-out hitting. It's a Cougars' opportunity to answer here.
Another pickoff attempt, and Chu is back. Doesn't seem like a huge lead over there. That was a close play over at first. And I'd be surprised to see Cougars send Chu here. 1-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss. 1-2. Pitch count is only at 68 for Brady Miller. 51 strikes. He is just hammering the strike zone. 1-2 pitch. Bounced in. Now the 2-2. And that's foul. Good contact there from Alex, but out in front of it.
This has got to be up there for one of the longest at-bats we've seen tonight for the Cougars as well. So McGarry is making Miller work.
Next pitch will be the 6th of the at-bat. That's a great point, Colin. We haven't seen many of these lengthy at-bats tonight. 2-2 again. And another one foul.
Yeah, and it puts Brady Miller out of his element. I mean, he hasn't had to be in this situation yet, so, you know, maybe he tries to get lucky and push one a little bit closer to the zone, and that's McGarry's chance to take advantage.
See if he can do that on another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, and the Cougars strand 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cougs still trailing 4-1.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
up. Let's go.
Bottom of the sixth inning, Dom Stagliano coming into the ball game for the Cougars, the rookie out of the University of Central Florida. Dom will face 7, 8, and 9 for the Dogs, beginning with Trip Clark, who is 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch misses inside. In the regular season, Stagliano made 6 appearances, had a 4.66 ERA, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 9 2/3 as he misses outside there.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Dominic Stagliano, kind of a late addition for the Cougars.
There's a fastball strike. Stagliano has made 1 appearance in the postseason. Pitched a scoreless inning with 1 strikeout.
That's good.
I believe that was in game 2 against Milwaukee, but just going back to double check that, it was game 2 against Milwaukee. That was the 12-0 loss for the Cougars, but he did pitch well at the top of the 9th inning against the Milkmen. 2-2, low and away, full count. There's Brady Miller, who Cougars just can't seem to figure out. Lake Country couldn't figure him out in round 1. 3-2. Called strike 3. Nice pitch by Stagliano. And he strikes out the first man he faces.
That'll do well for the kid's confidence. Little full count, finding that outside edge and placing it perfectly for Dominic Stagliano.
Nice to see for the Italian stallion. Has not allowed an earned run over his last 4 appearances dating back to the regular season. First pitch to Johnny Turbo way out in front. Pulled the string on him. That one a little bit outside from Dom.
Yeah, I mean, the Cougars didn't acquire Stagliano until August 2nd. So he's had just over a month with the team, and with that, only a handful of appearances. So it's kind of a thing where you don't really know what you have with Dom Stagliano. So maybe this is a good opportunity to figure it out. And so far, through his first appearance and now here, it's off to a good start.
Looking for another strikeout here as Turbo not chasing that one down low. Two-two pitch. Bouncer up the middle. Spin has it to first. Got him. Nice play by Zane. 2 away.
Well, this is the situation we saw in the 4th inning with Chris Mazzy. He got the first 2 outs, and he was able to get Reggie Pruitt by way of the K before the lineup turned over. See if Dom Stagliano can do the same thing here in the 6th.
Pruitt Jr. 0 for 2 tonight. Swing and a miss. And it looks like J.C. Keys is at least moving around in the Dogs bullpen. We'll see if he starts to throw. I mean, the pitch count's still very manageable for Brady Miller. Pruitt Jr. watches that one outside, 1-1.
Yeah, I'd be a little surprised if we didn't see him for a 7th inning of work, but
maybe we'll have Keys ready to go if he gets into trouble, as this is rolled on the ground to short. Spin up with it to first, and a 1-2-3 inning. Really nice work by Dom Stagliano in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. Cougars need to rally here, down by 3.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Turn up. Let's go.
Top of the 7th inning, Brady Miller back out there. No surprise to see him. He's been rolling along. He's allowed only 1 run on 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and no walks tonight. Claudio Final will lead it off. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Cougars. And Final takes a first pitch strike. That has been the key tonight for Brady Miller. He just finding the zone as J.C. Keys is getting loose. I'd assume as an insurance policy if Miller runs into trouble. That one's down low.
Yeah, the strikeout to ball ratio is just outrageous right now for Brady Miller, 55-19.
That's a lot of strikes. And a bouncer foul, 1-2. He has followed up his performance in round 1 with another stellar outing after not pitching too much in the regular season, starting the year in Mexico. And the 1-2 pitch down low. You know, it seems like, Colin, we have seen some first pitch swings tonight. That seems like the best pitch you're going to get
right
against Brady Miller. But he's done a really good job finding the corners. 2-2. And Final goes the other way. It's off the glove of Teeter. Flips it behind his back, and now Claudio is going to put on the brakes. He's aboard at first to lead off the top of the 7th. And that is a base hit. So an infield single. 4th hit of the night for the Cougars. And it brings up Blake Rutherford, who has the hardest hit ball tonight for Kane County.
Yeah, he blasted one the right center field wall last time. If he can do that again, Claudio's got pretty decent speed. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe he gets the turnaround third. If not, get runners at second and third, nobody out. That'd be huge for the Cougars.
First pitch to Rutherford, low and in. Are we finally seeing Brady Miller turn human a little bit in this 7th inning? Now, we talked about the lack of innings. He did go 7 innings in round 1, but obviously not pitching as much. This is late in the ball game as now Rutherford bounces it, gets through into right field. Final will stay put at second, back-to-back singles to start the 7th.
That's the first time this game we have seen back-to-back hits for the Cougars. So the first time we've seen anything kind of being strung along right now. First and second, nobody out. And let's see if Nick D'Alessandro can make something happen.
Nick had a big game in game 1, a double and a triple. First and second, nobody out. Cougars down by 3 in the top of the 7th. And the first pitch misses outside. So now the adversity starting to hit Brady Miller. We'll see if the Cougars can take advantage here. That's low and away, 2-0. So J.C. Keys continuing to get loose. But a 2-0 count to D'Alessandro. We'll see if he gets a good pitch to hit here. Low and away, 3-0. For the first time tonight, Miller having trouble finding the zone. Have to imagine D'Alessandro will be taking here. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike. So now what does Miller come back with on 3-1? Final at second, Rutherford at first. 3-1 pitch. Low for ball 4, and the Cougars have the bases loaded with nobody out.
That's the first walk of the game issued by Brady Miller, and based on this, it looks like it might be his last.
Matt Passarelli coming out, and that means that J.C. Keys will come on. Cougars have the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the 7th. We'll see if they can get back in this ball game against J.C. Keys. We'll step aside. Cougars trailing 4-1 here at Impact Field in the top of the 7th inning.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go.
J.C. Keys into the ball game to face Zane Spin. Bases loaded, nobody out, top of the 7th inning. Keys pitched a scoreless frame in game 2, but a big spot here. Bases loaded and nobody out. First pitch to Spin is in the dirt. Zane is 1 for 2 tonight, single, and then had an RBI in the ground out in the 5th. That's the lone run so far for the Cougars. Final at third, Rutherford at second, D'Alessandro at first. And that one fouled off of Zane, 1-1.
Zane's third RBI of the postseason coming earlier in this game. He has just really been clutch at the plate for the Cougars. And this is certainly a big opportunity.
Inside, checked up his swing. Had to scoot away from that pitch. I think that's a really good call by Mayhew Edwards because it gives the illusion that he swung because he was moving away, but he did hold up the bat, held up the swing. So it's a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Just finds the outside corner, 2-2.
Probably the biggest pitch of the game so far coming up here for the Cougars.
2-2. In the dirt, a full count.
And now the biggest pitch of the game coming up so far.
Each successive pitch getting that much bigger. 3-2, bases loaded, nobody out. What an opportunity for the Cougars, down by 3 runs. The 3-2 from Keys. Fouled back, nice job by the rookie. Zane Spin on a tough pitch, staying alive.
Yeah, the kid doesn't go down easy. We have seen him have really good at-bats in this postseason and really all season long.
Another 3-2. Spin into center field and deep. Pruitt Jr. going back, and it's over his head. Final in to score. Rutherford right behind him, and it's a 2-run double from Zane Spin, and the Cougars are within a run. What a big-time hit from the rookie.
Wow, I mean, you said it. just waited for something he could crush, and he got something he could crush. Over the head of Pruitt, 2 runs coming in. RBIs 4 and 5 for Zane Spinn in this postseason. That is some big-time work for the rookie.
He has not looked like a rookie in the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs. And now, the top of the order up, still nobody out. The tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second for Trendon Craig. First pitch to TC. That's lifted foul out of play.
Yeah, with one swing of the bat, Trendon Craig can flip this game completely upside down.
0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by Keys. Quickly 0-2. Keys had a 3.19 ERA in the regular season. Dogs have the infield in with the tying run at third. 0-2. Down low. My, how this game has changed. Brady Miller was absolutely rolling. But he loaded the bases, 2 singles and a walk, and then the 2-run double by Zane Spinn. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked there by Cisco. 2-2. Two-two pitch. Craig lofts it, foul, out of play. Well, we saw Zane Spinn come through with a massive 2-strike hit. We'll see if Trendon Craig can do the same thing. Looking for his first hit tonight and looking to potentially give the Cougars the lead. The 2-2. High, and it's a full count. Second straight hitter that J.C. Keys has gone full. And all the pressure has shifted to on the Chicago Dogs. 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded once again for the Cougars.
Wow. Big time at bat once again by Trendon Craig to reload the bases and bring up Josh Allen. And this is going to warrant a conversation with J.C. Keys.
Stu Clyburn coming out. The Cougars have had the first 5 hitters in the top of the 7th inning reach base. They have been trailing all night. But a golden opportunity. Still nobody out in the top of the 7th for Josh Allen, the longtime Cougar. Already with a big 3-run homer in this series. And looking to come up with another huge hit here with the Cougars down by a run.
Well, this is kind of interesting to me, at least. The Dogs are playing in double play depth.
First pitch to Allen. Swing and a miss.
I would have thought, to protect the 1-run lead, you would play infield in again, but I guess they'd rather have the 2 outs and let the run score?
I think so. I think with nobody out, that's the trade they'd be willing to make. The 0-1 pitch. And a breaking ball gets a swing and a miss on Allen, 0-2. But we know Josh has a really good 2-strike approach. J.C. Keys has already thrown 16 pitches. Came on in relief of Brady Miller. The 0-2. Called strike 3 on a pitch that was close.
Tough at bat for Josh Allen. 3 pitches from J.C. Keys, all he needed to retire him. But still, 3 and 4 potentially due up here for the Cougars. Still work to be done.
Marcus Chu at the plate, 1 for 3 tonight. D'Alessandro at third, Spin at second. Pitch misses outside. Got Trendon Craig over at first base as Chu is ahead 1-0.
Again, Marcus was 0 for his last 9 until his last at-bat where he picked up a single. So maybe like we saw with Jacob Teeter, maybe this is what Marcus Chu needed to get himself back on track.
That one low and away, 2-0. So Keys falling behind Chu. Control has not been as good from the Dogs right-hander tonight as it was on Tuesday night out in Geneva. Two-0 pitch. Low and away, 3-0. And Keys now in danger of walking in the tying run. Already 2 walks in this inning from Dogs pitching. The 3-0 pitch just found the inside corner.
Yeah, it was a take all the way from Marcus Chu, which is the right call, but now 3-1. Let's see if he gets something he can drive.
Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball by him. Marcus was geared up for it, but couldn't catch up to the heater. So it's a full count with 1 out and the bases loaded. The 3-2. Inside ball 4, and we've got a tie ball game. Marcus Chu works the walk. Nick D'Alessandro comes in to score, and everybody moves up a spot.
This game has completely flipped. Brand new ball game, like you said. Might as well be 0-0 here, but the base is still loaded for the Cougars, and that is going to be the end of the night for J.C. Keys.
We'll step aside. New pitcher coming on.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Todd Lott at the plate. Eric Lynn, the new pitcher to the ballgame. We're tied at 4 with 1 out in the top of the 7th. First pitch from Lynn, and Lott watches it down low. Lynn in the regular season had a 2.51 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 9 walks in 28 2/3. And he pitched a scoreless inning earlier in this series. But he faces the Cougars' most potent hitter with the bases loaded. 1-0 pitch. Lott pops it up foul.
This is the second time this inning a Dogs reliever has had to enter with the bases loaded. I mean, that is not an easy thing to have to do because there is no margin for error.
It's still just 1 out in this inning. 1-1 pitch. Fouled away. 1-2. So now we'll see if Lott can come away with a 2-strike hit. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Looking for his first tally in this ball game. The 1-2. Lott drives it deep left center field. You can forget it. Todd Lott's second grand slam of this series, and it is 8-4 Cougars. The comeback Cougs have scored 7 runs in the top of the 7th, and Todd Lott remains the clutchest hitter in the American Association.
3 words, Connor. Big on big. Wow.
His second grand slam of the series. My goodness. And now McGarry with a line drive into right. That hangs up for Johnny Turbo to make the catch. But the Cougars have turned this game on its head. They were down 4-1. Brady Miller was dominant. He was in control of this game. It was a Final single, a Rutherford single, a D'Alessandro walk, a spin double, a Craig walk, a Chu walk, as now Claudio Final takes a strike. And then Todd Lott with another grand slam. Wow. And now Final pokes it into center field. That drops for a hit. Claudio with his second hit this inning. And you could hear a pin drop in Rosemont, Colin.
You're not kidding. And it's incredible. There were 3 hits. The Cougars had 3 hits going into this inning. And they have absolutely exploded and capped it off in the best way possible. A crooked number. And not only tied the game, doubled up the score that the Dogs had. And now they're up 4. I mean, they completely flipped the script.
That is championship pedigree, Colin. As Blake Rutherford pops it up, Dusty Stroop makes the catch in foul territory, but the Cougars score 7 in the top of the 7th. Todd Lott breaks the tie with a grand slam. We go to the stretch. It's an 8-4 Cougars lead.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Impact Field. What a change at this ballpark over the top of the 7th inning as the Cougars put up 7 runs. They send 11 men to the plate. Todd Lott with the big blow, a grand slam, as now Casey Crosby comes in to take on the top of the order for the Dogs. And the first pitch misses, 1-0.
Can you imagine, like, going to go get dinner or something? Like, I'll just miss the top of the 7th and coming back to this game.
I hope you weren't going to your fridge at that point, as that's in for a strike from Crosby. 1-1. The change in this ballpark. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I said at one point on that Dusty Stroop play, it just felt like the Dogs' night. But wow, how things can change in an instant, and that's where you credit that championship pedigree of the Cougars. This is bounced to short, spin from deep in the hole, low, and it gets away. And Kuziak is aboard to lead off the 7th.
Yeah, I think that's going to go down as the second error of the game now for Zane Spinn. And we kind of saw a similar play earlier in this postseason between these two, Marcus Chu and Zane Spinn. It's just coming in on such a line and such a tough hop for a first baseman to make that kind of a play.
Here's Jalen Williams. First pitch misses inside from Crosby. Well, as good as that top of the 7th felt, there is a lot of work to be done for the Cougars. Still 9 outs they have to record here against a Dogs lineup that has given them trouble. As there's a swing and a miss from Casey Crosby, getting the fastball by Jalen Williams.
Well, and the good news is for the Cougars, though, I mean, when they were chasing 4 runs, it was still early. Now the Dogs are going to have to face with the toughest part of this Cougars roster as a whole, and that is the late game bullpen, starting with this man, Casey Crosby.
In the postseason, that has been consistently the best part of this team. Between Crosby, Nissen, Gozo, they have been elite late in ball games. Here's the 1-2 to Williams. Foul back. Crosby making his 4th appearance already in the postseason. In 3 2/3 innings, he has 7 strikeouts. That's pretty good.
He's been unreal.
1-2 pitch. Bounce to third. Final to second. Over to first. A little high. But the Cougars get 1 on the fielder's choice.
Well, and here we go. See how Casey Crosby handles the middle part of this Dogs lineup. This is where 3 of the 4 runs have come from, where a lot of the damage has come from. So if Crosby can sink in and get through this inning unscathed, that's going to go a long way for the Cougars.
Jacob Teeter has reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. Takes a first pitch high. Single in the first inning, a walk in the 3rd, and a double in the 5th. 8-4, the Cougars lead. Bottom of the 7th inning with 1 away. Sliced foul out of play. You could see that reaction from the Cougar dugout at the top of the 7th. Wow.
Hair's still standing up on my arms. That's unbelievable.
What a moment. And Todd Lott has provided many of those this year. This is on the ground. Allen to second for 1. Over to first, a double play. 4-6-3 and a scoreless frame from Casey Crosby. We'll go to the 8th with the Cougars leading by 4 in Game 3.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Top of the 8th inning, Eric Lynn back on, and he'll face Nick D'Alessandro to lead off the top of the 8th. Cougars looking for some insurance. If you left us at any point,
It's a different ball game.
A lot has changed. Cougars were down 4-1 for a good chunk of this game as D'Alessandro pops up. First pitch foul out of play. Todd Lott. Of course it was Todd Lott. It had to be Todd Lott to come through with the grand slam. His second grand slam of this series. His third grand slam this season, if you go back to the regular season.
Yeah, they've all been massive grand slams too.
They have.
I mean, and a lot of grand slams are,
but he hasn't hit one in a game the Cougars were down 10-1. As D'Alessandro shoots it to the right side, that's through a base hit. His first hit of the night. And the leadoff man aboard for the Cougars to start the 8th.
Yeah, that 7th inning, I mean, there's a lot of postseason that still needs to shake out, but that's one that you might come back to.
Here's Zane's spin. And he has the second biggest hit of the night. He bunts this one third base side. Stroop bare hands to first. Not in time. Zane beats it out for his third hit of the night. Jacob Teeter is fired up. Matt Passarelli coming out.
Oh, yeah, he just
Teeter
threw the ball.
just threw the ball at the Dogs' dugout. Is he going to be tossed from this game? He's not.
Yeah, Matt
But he's fired
Passarelli,
up.
he might need to walk a little quicker and get Teeter under control. I mean,
it's close. It's bang, bang.
It was bang, bang.
Yeah.
It's one you probably really have to slow down to
Yeah.
figure it out. The naked eye, and maybe this is a homer call, but he looked safe to me, but it was bang, bang on the replay.
It was close. I mean, that's just – those can go either way. I mean, it's a tough call for Alex Perry. But without seeing it slowed down, I mean, it could have gone either way, just 50-50 type. Cougars will take it. They've got runners at first and second, nobody out. And back to the top of the order, Trendon Craig. Now TC shows bunt, pulls back and takes a strike.
Well, the Cougars strung back-to-back singles to lead off the 7th inning as well. So I think you'll take any and all insurance runs at this point, especially this late in the game.
Craig pulls it back, takes the ball high. Every run matters.
Right.
Especially at a ballpark like this. We saw the Dogs strike early, and you know, as much as you feel great about the Cougars bullpen, when you witness a 7-run inning, you know anything can happen in baseball. You can never have enough runs as this bunt is popped up. Cisco can't get to it up against the netting. Well, it's 1-2.
Yeah, so bunt probably off the table now from TC, but see if he can maybe work himself back into this count and end up aboard.
Lynn with a look back to second. One, two, outside. Two. Bounce to third, but foul. Wouldn't that be nice if that was tucked inside the baseline?
Oh, yeah. With that speed that's out there?
It's amazing how quickly a ball game can change. As that's upstairs, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Craig down on strikes for the first out. First pitch to Allen. Into center field, and Reggie Pruitt Jr. comes over to make the play, throws to second. D'Alessandro just gets back in time. How funny would it be if Marcus Chu walks here?
Wow.
I don't think Eric Lynn would want to see Todd Lott with the bases loaded again.
No. But we would.
We'd like to see it. Anytime the bases are loaded, I'd like to see Todd Lott at the plate.
I mean, we've been singing his praises all season long, and he deserves it. He's an all-star this year, postseason all-star as well, and a guy that we thought maybe could get some serious consideration.
As Chu hits it high to right field, Johnny Turbo comes over and makes the catch to end the inning. So the Cougars stranded pair will go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-run lead for Kane County here in Rosemont.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Impact Field. Bottom of the 8th inning, 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Dogs as Casey Crosby is on for a second inning of work after he worked a scoreless bottom of the 7th. TJ Hopkins 1 for 2 tonight with a 2-run homer as the first pitch misses down low. Cougars are now out hitting the Dogs 10-6. As this is towards second, Allen bobbles for a moment into short right, throws to first. They still got him. What a stretch by Marcus Chu, and the recovery from Josh to make that play for out number 1.
Yeah, that's a veteran second baseman doing his thing. I mean, it's a tough hop, but he was able to keep it somewhere close to him and just hurry the throw and put it on target enough for Marcus Chu to make a great stretch, as you pointed out, and get that first out.
Here's Chance Cisco. 1 for 2 tonight, also walked and scored in the second inning. Tried to check his swing, and it looks like he did hold up there, 1-0. Cougars have the shift on. Claudio Final playing where the shortstop typically would be, as that's a hot shot toward the Cougar dugout. 1-1. Casey Crosby, a former Chicago Dog. That was the last team he pitched for in the American Association before coming to the Cougars this year. That's a little bit low to Cisco. High and away, 3-1. No, I think with a hitter like Chance Cisco, you have to be careful. He's been the best bat over the course of the season for the Dogs. As here's the 3-1. High for ball 4. I think there, Colin, Casey Crosby, with one out, nobody aboard, you'd probably just rather face Dusty Stroop.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, looking at the bottom 4, 1 hit combined between them, and it was Dusty Stroop back in the 2nd inning.
That is the first walk issued by Crosby in the postseason. First pitch to Stroop, in for a strike. Stroop also somebody who was a double play candidate. Crosby got out of the last inning with a double play. Breaking ball just missed. 1-1.
Well, the Cougars do have Logan Nissen getting loose in the pin. Probably more of a just in case here to see what happens against Dusty Stroop.
2-1 pitch. Foul tip there, and Nick D'Alessandro getting a new baseball. 2-2.
I think that went off Tom Swoboda too, and Nick doing his due diligence to check on the home plate umpire.
Two pitch. Stroop just stays alive. Late swing on that breaking ball. Remains 2-2. Jake Gozo, the closer for the Cougars, getting loose. Casey Crosby hoping it'll be a non-save situation if the Cougars remain up by 4 runs. 2-2. Stroop towards third, but it's foul.
Casey's been having a lot of issues with the mound, it looks like.
And he's pointing it out to Mayhew Edwards. Well, little conversation there. Casey getting the sleeves back up. Not sure if Edwards wanted to check something there as well.
Yeah, I don't know, but there you see him doing it. He stomped on the rubber a few times. He was doing it last inning as well.
2-2 pitch. Line drive just over the outstretched glove of Zane Spinn, and now first and second with 1 out for Chicago. And George Samus now coming out. Looks like this might be it for Casey Crosby.
I think it's probably the right call.
Now walk and then a single. So he's responsible for the runners at first and second. And Crosby will depart from the ball game. We'll have a pitching change. Cougars lead 8-4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Did they do it? The game is over.
Logan Nissen into the ball game for the Cougars. He'll face Trip Clark. First pitch fouled away right side. Logan making his second appearance in this series. He pitched a scoreless inning in game one, allowed just one hit, had one strikeout, one walk. Bounced in, blocked well by D'Alessandro.
Yeah, Logan's been one of the more reliable arms for the Cougars this season. He's struggled a little bit with walks, and generally he comes into games at the top of innings. He doesn't usually come in with runners aboard.
We have seen him do a good job if he gets into trouble just being able to get out of it. As there's a swing and a miss, 1-2.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the best in the games at that.
Game one, Nissen came into the seventh inning, and the Dogs had runners at first and third, and Logan got out of it without surrendering a run. 1-2 pitch. On the ground to short. Spin to second for one. Over to first. 6-4-3 double play. What a job by Logan Nissen. And we go to the ninth. The Cougars ahead by 4 in Game 3 of the East Division Championship Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turned up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate. Did they do it? The game is over.
Turned up. Let's go.
Anthony Renato, the new pitcher into the ball game for the Dogs, former major leaguer, coming on to pitch the ninth, and he'll face Todd Lott, the hero tonight, with the grand slam that broke a 4-4 tie, made it a 7-run seventh inning, and Lott fouls back the first pitch.
Well, speaking of 7, and looking at the West Division Championship, a 4-run ninth by Fargo Moorhead ties the game at 7.
Oh, my goodness.
Going into the bottom of the ninth.
What a night to be watching the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs.
Wow.
That's why we love this league, Colin.
Absolutely.
I mean, exciting games. Cougars were trailing all night. They were trailing since the bottom of the second inning. 1-1 pitch to Lott. Goodbye! The Chicago Dogs cannot stop this man. Todd Lott with his third home run of the series, his second of the night, and it is 9-4 Cougars.
Another multi-home run night in Rosemont for Todd Lott. Number 9 owns this field. His 5th RBI of the night. He is single-handedly beating the Chicago Dogs right now.
Oh.
Unreal.
Hey, I know that Todd Lott's cousin is Ronnie Lott, but boy, I think the legend of Todd is approaching that level. The Hall of Fame safety with the San Francisco 49ers. We know he delivered in the postseason.
Yep, exactly.
It must run in the family.
I'd say so.
Some big-time hits from that safety. Wearing the red and the gold of the San Francisco 49ers. We've seen some massive hits from Todd Lott tonight.
Yeah, neither one of those home runs are sneaking over the wall. Those were crushed.
Demolished. Wow. You got to be kidding me.
Nine RBIs in 3 games now for Todd Lott.
There's Brady Miller, and frustrating night for him. It looked like he was on his way to another win in the postseason after a great start against Lake Country in round 1. As now McGarry lofts it to right. Turbo is there to make the catch for the first out. I mean, I'm almost wondering tomorrow night, Colin, I don't know if Todd Lott will see a pitch anywhere near the strike zone. I hope he does, but why would they pitch to him?
No idea.
I mean, he's locked in. Although he started the night 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Brady Miller had his number, but saw Eric Lynn hit the grand slam, and Anthony Renato tried his luck, but I mean, that was demolished on a 1-1 pitch.
Yeah, 8 unanswered runs now for the Cougars over the last 3 innings. And one of the best closers in the league is going to have a decent amount of wiggle room in the bottom of the 9th.
1-1 to Finau. Big cut there from Claudio. He was maybe thinking about matching Todd Lott there. Went down to a knee. I have seen Claudio Finau hit a ball out of the ballpark on a knee, but didn't make contact there. Check swing. He did not go.
It's kind of fitting that in left field here at Rosemont as well is that Big Ten center. And it just says big. And it's almost like a call to Todd. It's like the bat symbol for Todd Lott.
That one misses outside. You pointed it out, Colin. The last 2 games that Todd Lott has played at Impact Field, he has 5 home runs.
That's unbelievable. No, why would you pitch to him? It's Barry Bonds style.
Yeah, I mean, Finau fouls it away. I mean, he, against the Chicago Dogs in Rosemont, he's unreal. I mean, he is a great player anywhere he plays. As you pointed out, Colin, had it not been for a couple of stints on the injured list, I think Todd Lott almost certainly would be an MVP candidate in the league as Finau pops it up. Looks like it's just above us. Whoa, that was close.
That almost came in here.
I think it did. It was right outside of it.
I don't know if that hit the window or you should have just thrown the hands out and see what happened.
Or did it go in? It might have went in their booth.
I have no idea.
And there's a swing and a miss. Finau down on strikes for out number 2. Well, this is a game. I think there's been a few games this year that you could call the Todd Lott game, whether the one with the walk-off grand slam against Kansas City or the 3-homer game. But you can add another chapter to the legend of Todd Lott with the Kane County Cougars.
Yeah, what a season he has had.
And it's great to see anybody do something like that, but especially for someone like Todd Lott, who's such a good teammate, really active in the community. He's great with the fans. As that's rolled to the right side, backhanded there by Williams over to first. That'll end the inning. But the Cougars add another run as Todd Lott goes yard once again. It's 9-4, and the Cougars are 3 outs away from taking a 2-1 series lead.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turned up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate. Did he do it? The game is over.
Turned up. Let's go.
Bottom of the 9th inning, the Cougars lead 9-4, and Jake Gozo into the ball game with a 5-run lead. He'll face 8-9-1 for the Dogs, beginning with Johnny Turbo, who was 0 for 3 tonight. Turbo skies it. Shallow center, long run into no man's land. It's a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard for the Dogs to start the bottom of the 9th. You do sometimes worry, Colin, about a closer coming in non-save situation, because as a closer, you have to ramp up that adrenaline. You're ready to go to lock down a game. You come in with a lot of breathing room. It's just different circumstance.
Yeah, it is. I think maybe the counter to that would be this has been such a huge comeback for the Cougars and the stage that it's on, that you don't want to blow it. So there is a little bit of pressure here, obviously, for Jake Gozo.
First pitch misses inside to Reggie Pruitt Jr. Jake has made 2 appearances in the postseason. 1 save, 4 strikeouts, has not allowed a hit in 2 innings. What a regular season. He had 18 saves, which set the single season record for the Cougars.
I mean, this is prime. This is what George Samus wants every game, is to be up by, I mean, obviously as many runs as you can, but to turn to your bullpen to win the game for you after the offense puts up enough runs.
Dropped in a nice changeup there, 1-2. And Reggie Pruitt Jr. having a few words with Tom Swoboda. Didn't think that one was in the zone. One-two pitch inside. 2-2 to Pruitt Jr., who was 0 for 3 tonight. These two teams will match up again tomorrow night as Jake steps off. It'll be Vin Timpanelli going up against Zach Davidson, but 3 outs to get here for Jake Gozo to give the Cougars a 2-1 lead in this series. 2-2 pitch. Just low. Full count to Pruitt Jr. Well, you certainly don't want 2 runners aboard with the top of the order coming up. Big pitch here for Gozo. 3-2. Foul and out of play.
Well, a ground ball would obviously be the best case scenario here for the Cougars, and the Dogs have rolled into a double play each of the last 2 innings. See if they can make it 3 in a row.
It's the first time that Jake has pitched in 5 days. Earned the win against Milwaukee to close out that series. He pitched a scoreless top of the 9th inning, and then the Cougars walked it off on 2 wild pitches. That is how close the Cougars were to having their season end. They were in a tie game, 2-2 in the 9th against the Milkmen in round 1. 3-2 pitch. Little bouncer, tough play. Gozo backhands, fires to first, and Pruitt Jr. with really good speed, an infield single. And it is first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, I would say for both these hits, sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. I mean,
Yep.
Johnny Turbo's just kind of landed in no man's land, wasn't hit hard. This one just a slow roller and a chopper on the left side that nobody could get to, and the speed was enough for Reggie Pruitt to set up runners at first and second.
And that may be the message here from Nick D'Alessandro coming out to chat with Gozo. It was really just a bloop single in a really tough spot, and then an infield single in a tough spot on the infield. So not much that Jake could do in either instance. But it is first and second with nobody out for Henry Kuziak at the top of the order. Kuziak 1 for 4, had a solo homer in the 5th inning. That gave the Dogs at that point a 4-1 advantage. First pitch, in for a strike. The 0-1, down low. Well, Jake is well rested here. First time he's pitched in 5 days. That is Jacob Teeter, who's currently in the hole. Would like to get a couple of outs before he comes to the plate. Heck, maybe if you get a double play, you don't have to see Jacob Teeter in this bottom of the 9th. As Kuziak pops it up, shallow right, and infield fly rule in effect. And the catch made for out number 1.
Yeah, number 1 is big. I mean, with a 5-run lead, you're just looking for 3. You can afford to give up a run or 2, obviously, so just wherever you can get an out, take it.
But the 3 most difficult outs to get always, the last 3 of ball game, even with a 5-run lead. So here's Jalen Williams, first pitch. He skies it. Right field side, Marcus Chu, foul territory, and oh, watch out, Marcus. Leapt into the seats, and hopefully he's okay. We know how adventurous he can be in foul territory, and looks like he's okay.
Yeah, he'll go for anything and everything if he feels like he can get a glove on it. And, you know, it's something to admire. It's something we love about Marcus Chu, but sometimes that comes at his own peril when, you know, you go banging into a low wall, legs first.
0-1 the count to Williams. High pop-up foul and out of play. Jacob Teeter is on deck. Has had a big night, but rolled into a double play his last time. But the task at hand, Jalen Williams with an 0-2 count. See if Gozo can come away with his first strikeout tonight. 0-2 pitch. Williams stays alive.
Just a quick update, too, in the West. The Sioux Falls Canaries walked it off in the bottom of the 10th.
On a homer?
On a homer.
Oh, my goodness. What a night in the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs. 0-2 pitch. upstairs. Jordan Barth on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a game there.
What a night. You said it.
The 1-2. Inside, 2-2 to Jalen Williams. So that was a game where Sioux Falls had a big lead. Fargo came back, but the Canaries get the last laugh with a walk-off homer. 2-2. Another one foul. Williams continues to battle here.
And a 2-1 lead now for the Canaries in that one, and that's pivotal. We keep talking about it, and that's the same situation we have here tonight with the Cougars and Dogs.
Two. Inside a full count.
This has been a tough go for Jake Gozo against Jalen Williams. He has just really put together a nice at-bat. And you keep mentioning it, Jacob Teeter is waiting on deck.
Next pitch will be the 8th of the at-bat. Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. He got him. A fastball from Gozo and a critical second out for Jake. And the Cougars are 1 out away from taking a 2-1 lead, but they'll face Jacob Teeter.
That was big, though.
Absolutely huge. Teeter has reached base 3 times tonight. Single, a walk, and a double, but he did ground into a double play. His last time up, he's the last hope for the Dogs tonight. And Gozo will step off. Turbo at second, Pruitt at first. Cougars were trailing in this game 4-1 before scoring 7 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Teeter takes a first pitch outside. The big blow, a Todd Lott grand slam when the Cougars had already tied it up at 4. That's just inside. Gozo can't believe it. Close pitch, but he didn't get the benefit of the doubt. 2-0 to Teeter. On the outside corner for a strike. Good changeup there from Jake. He's had to battle tonight. 22 pitches in this bottom of the 9th inning. The Dogs have made him work. The 2-1 pitch. Teeter's bat goes flying into the Cougar dugout on a swing and a miss. Lost the handle. And David Holmberg will give it back to Teeter.
Well, that was nice of him.
Watch out over there. So he'll get some pine tar. Or hitter grip spray, as they call it. That's not the old school stuff, but hopefully he gets a better grip now. Testing that out. A 2-2 count. The Cougars are 1 strike away from taking a 2-1 lead in this series. Gozo is ready. 2-2. Fouled away. And it clangs off one of the windows over here.
Well, sounds like a bill. Luckily, we don't have to pay it.
Yes. I don't think it didn't break our window, but that wouldn't be our fault anyway.
Right. Perks of being on the road, I suppose.
Remains at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Just low as D'Alessandro did his best to frame it up into the zone. So a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Cougars ahead by 5, but the Dogs threatening in this bottom of the 9th.
26th pitch coming up here for Gozo in this inning.
Here's the payoff. On the ground to the shift. There's Josh Allen over to first, and the Cougars win. What a comeback victory for the Kane County Cougars in Game 3. They trailed 4-1. They score 7 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Todd Lott is the hero tonight. A grand slam and a late home run for insurance. 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. What a gritty effort from this team. And as we said earlier, championship pedigree. They did not give up down 4-1.
No, and that's the big part of it and the big takeaway at the end of the day for this team, to know that when you get down and there is adversity that you face, you can come back to this moment and say, remember when we were down 4-1 in Rosemont and we came back and we won? That's the kind of stuff that you can have going forward that's going to be so big. And speaking of big on big tonight, about as big as it comes. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, the grand slam, 2 runs, single-handedly scored more runs than the Chicago Dogs tonight. He was by far the MVP of this game. Cougars go up 2-1.
And that Game 3, we talked about it at the beginning of the night, Colin. Game 3 of a best-of-5 series, it truly doesn't get bigger than a Game 3 in terms of the momentum. Now you're just 1 win away from going back to the Miles Wolf Cup final, and I have to tell you, Colin, I mean, I talked about that Dusty Stroop moment. It just looked like the Dogs' night, but somehow, some way, the Cougars dug deep and pulled out a win.
It's unbelievable, and it's so big for momentum because I think you just mentioned it. They're that close. They're 1 game away from going back to that championship to do something that's tough to do. Go back to back, and who knows what can happen at that point with that kind of momentum. And then on the reverse side for the Chicago Dogs, to basically have the game in your hands and lose it. And now you have to win 2 games in a row to get yourself into the Miles Wolf Cup final. I mean, it's pretty clear at least where the momentum sits, but the job is not done. You still got 1 more game to go.
It's a good position to be in for the Cougars, but you hope they don't let it go to a Game 5. Try to get it done tomorrow night. They've got all the momentum. You could feel the air just come out of this ballpark after that 7-run inning. There was a lot of energy here. The Dogs had a couple of home runs. They were up 4-1. Brady Miller was rolling. And underrated moment in this game as well before that grand slam by Todd Lott. How about the 2-run double by Zane Spinn in a huge spot? 3-2 count. The rookie hits a ball over the head of Reggie Pruitt Jr. to drive in 2 runs.
Yeah, he's got 5 RBIs in this postseason. So, I mean, he has certainly been producing in that 9-hole, and you said it, to roll over that order. We were talking about that a lot in Game 2 of this series. Just that is a luxury to have in your 9 spot, to get the top back up, put the speed aboard as well, but just produce with big hits. And Zane Spinn has certainly been doing that. I think you said it during the broadcast, doesn't look like a rookie in this postseason
Not at all. Not at all, and he is really impressed. Ends up with 3 hits tonight with 2 RBIs, so credit to Zane for a really good night. That bottom part of the order started that rally for that 7-run inning. Dom Stagliano earns your win tonight.
It
seemed like it wasn't a big deal for him to pitch a scoreless bottom of the 6th inning, but the rookie tosses a scoreless frame and 1-2-3. And I think finally the Cougars said, hey, our pitching, they've done enough for us to win this game tonight, and the bat showed up in a huge way in the 7th.
They did, and again, we talked about it. Once they take the lead in that 7th inning, it's really hard for any team to come back against this team, because you have to go against Logan Nissen, you have to go against Casey Crosby, and you have to go against Jake Gozo. And, you know, the numbers speak for themselves. There's just not a lot of success against those 3 arms. And, you know, that's what the Cougars get to have going forward. And I think what's even more advantageous, obviously you hope Vin Timpanelli can get the job done tomorrow. The Cougars can go back to the Miles Wolf Cup final. But worst case scenario, even if they can't, more than likely it's going to be Connor Ashton in Game 5.
Exactly. It puts the Cougars in a very good position, but work to be done, Colin, as we know. 1 more win to get, and they'll have to do it on the road again, but what a victory tonight. Thanks to everyone that stayed with us throughout for those of you that believed. Maybe some of you turned us off and turned us back on. But wow, what a win for the Cougars tonight at Impact Field. Certainly a game that won't be forgotten for a long time among Cougars fans. But that's going to wrap it up for our post-game coverage. Make sure to join us tomorrow night for Game 4, where the Cougars will look to clinch a spot in the Miles Wolf Cup final and have the opportunity to defend their championship. So for Colin Rudisil, Connor Klingon saying so long from Rosemont, where the Cougars beat the Dogs 9-4. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.